You could not call the cops.
Were you back in my official exam room just now?
Was
You
I?
walked back past the by yourself unescorted.
Yeah.
The police
Do you?
on their way. So we've had a discussion. I've learned something. Can I help you?
No, thank you. It's a beautiful office.
You guys care to put on a mask for us?
I actually don't care much for them myself. Thank you, though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
That's just for patients back there.
I was about to say to you, we should get a door in front of that thing because it looks like there are needles back there, and you know how people, you know how they love to get them needles. They love it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, Justin's not getting this time. Okay.
I think they just said something
Hi,
about.
can I help you? And were you back in my official exam room just now?
Was
you
I?
Walked back past the by yourself unescorted.
Yeah.
Okay, this is basically the equivalent of a doctor's office.
It's the
This
public.
reception
All right,
area.
you're a county worker, right?
I am a county worker. My name is Angela.
This is a county office.
Yes, but this is the health department, and you don't go back in a physician's exam room unescorted. Okay?
You in a public office, you don't leave a build or a section of the office with no door. That should be restricted.
Oh, okay. Well, what else? What can I do for you, gentlemen? What else? What are you here
You could
for?
not call the cops.
Huh?
You could not call the cops.
Well, I suppose I can. Is that against the law to ask security to come enforce my rules?
It would be misuse of a police hotline if you called somebody like the police.
Internal security, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, great.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
so
we'll
are you
just.
gonna wait on them then?
Yeah, we'll just wait on them.
Absolutely.
No problem with that.
And your purpose in life right now is what? I mean, why
Freedom.
Freedom. What am I doing to limit your freedom?
You're taking my tax dollars. I wish I could keep those, but I don't get a choice. I got to pay you.
I don't personally take your tax dollars.
Well, you do. You've got an option to go get a job in the private sector. I'm sure you're a certified nurse, right?
I am.
So
I'm
you
a
could.
registered nurse with a master's degree in public health nursing.
Well, you could get paid a lot of money if you go to the private sector,
Yes,
couldn't you?
But I care about my public, and I believe in public health, which is why I do my job, and I like working here in public health.
If you got a job in the
You are
private
walking
sector.
around harassing people who choose to work in public health because you're saying that you take your tax dollars.
I'm not harassing anybody.
Then what are you here for? Are you here for an appointment? We've got COVID shots. Are you up to date? I would be very happy to provide that to you today. Do you need an STD test? We provide those. The police on their way.
Do you want to give me an STD test?
If you think you need one, I'm just giving you an idea of what.
Like, what would the charges be if I got an STD test?
It would be free.
Really?
Wow. Your COVID shot will be free.
I know that because I know there's a government program on the federal level to distribute those. But hey, a STD test for free. I mean, and I will say though, you do understand that I've already paid for it in tax dollars.
I do understand.
Right.
And I pay taxes too.
Yeah.
So even though I'm paid by tax dollars, I pay the same taxes as you do.
You give some of them. You give some of the tax dollars back. I get you. Yeah, but no, we aren't here to harass you. I mean, what we do is we just go around public buildings and record the public areas.
And report in public areas.
Yeah. And the thing that I was trying to tell you is unless there is a sign And we did see there's no sign that says authorized personnel only.
Past that sign, okay.
Right, so if there's a
That's
sign.
an excellent point, and so if that
Right.
is it, then, I will correct that, and thank you for that
Yeah,
information.
well, hey, I appreciate you being willing to
Yeah.
correct it, because that's the only thing is a lot of public employees get the wrong idea that it's like a private building. Like you can tell because if it was a private building, you could be like, hey, one, don't go where I don't want you to go, right? Because
Right.
it's my building, but
Right.
it's all of ours building. So until it is restricted by a sign or a locked door, we all have the same access.
Okay.
Which is what I'm trying to say. So
And that's, sure.
Yeah.
It's been, I did not know that.
yeah, and this footage will be on the internet if you're interested in watching it.
Absolutely. would.
You'll see that we literally peeked in the door and
Okay.
recorded it and then left. So,
And
I
that's
mean,
perfectly fine.
Right.
I would prefer that you not touch or rummage through things, so.
yeah, no, we did not do any of that. I mean, we saw a lot of stuff. I believe that was your office back there to the left, right?
Yes.
Right. We saw a phone out there. We didn't touch it. We're not there to touch things or mess with things. We're literally just here to document the public areas.
Okay.
You took pictures of my desk.
Yes,
There's confidential things on that.
I get that, and that's the thing with a public building is it's in public. It is not my responsibility to not look at things. It is your responsibility to create your own privacy, which would be done through a locked door or through a sign. Which I honestly, if there is stuff like people's medical information on there, that's not my goal to show that to anybody, right? I wouldn't like my medical information being shown to people.
Right.
But that's why if I was in the public sector, I would certainly make sure that it's my responsibility to make sure that my client's paperwork is maintained as confidential, because that could be a serious problem. That's why I actually advocate for private health. I'm sure that you all are great at your job. I just wish that you would go and do it in the private sector, because then if I need your services, I pay for them. But right now I pay for them, and I really don't think I need them.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is again, man.
So, So, we've had a discussion, I've learned something.
Okay.
He said, we were busy.
Okay.
She was making a copy.
Okay.
He came in, the desk was unattended. He proceeded to the back in my shot room area into a private office.
Okay.
Peeked in, said that he didn't touch anything, and that he just was filming empty
Okay.
offices. My concern right now is that I have a nurse's office that is possibly on there that might have confidential information
Okay.
that she's working on her desk,
Okay.
that he might have on the film.
Okay.
So I would like some assurance that that would not be posted on the internet. If it does show her paperwork that's laying on that desk. And then he told me that because we're in a public building, make sure I'm getting this right, that if we're in a public building, unless I have a sign posted or a locked door, that the public can come in and come into any office, any room, because it's a public building.
You guys are under the State Board of Health, so I'm not sure how that works with them. I would assume that there's documents back there that don't need to be in the public's eye.
Right.
Patient confidentiality, HIPAA, and things like that.
Absolutely.
right.
Access to our vaccines, and so
Right.
his point being that I did not adequately have signage or a locked door, and that he should be able to go back and walk through.
Are you
any
going to
aspect.
guarantee that if you got any personal information for any patients that come in here, it won't be broadcasted and put out?
I mean, on a personal level, I don't.
I mean, because that's a HIPAA violation, and I assume that I don't know how that would work. I assume that,
No, you're right. If that was put out online, which I'm not sure I did see anything on that person's desk.
Can you just
But-
guarantee that if you go back and review it, if you see anything, you'll white it out or
Yeah, I'll make a
blur it
deal.
out?
I'll make a deal with you guys that, like, as long as we all understand that even if it was a HIPAA violation, I made no commitment to abide by HIPAA's rules. It was your guys' HIPAA violation, not mine.
Well,
And I would
like
never
she
put,
said-
like, if
she
somebody
said
had
this-
STDs out on a desk,
like
why
she
would I
said, this
post
is
that
a learning
online?
experience for her.
Absolutely.
Okay? So all we're asking is,
Yeah.
if you happen to get some kind of, you'll blur it out or whatever you do.
Yeah, we don't do that whole. We can make a point to, even when we see a private individual, keep them off camera, because
All
we
right,
don't
very
do
good.
all
Oh,
that
okay.
stuff.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
then
I
that's
appreciate
fine.
that.
So out of curiosity then, so you gentlemen have met before, sounds like.
Yeah, we
So,
ran into them over the
is
courthouse.
this accurate information from your standpoint? Because I'm sure you're educating other department heads as you go through the Henry County
Yep.
government offices.
That's right.
That if there is an area that is not a locked door, or it doesn't have a sign that says no public or staff only or something like that, is that correct? That I need to correct that and place something up here because I don't have a locked door?
Well, this is your office, and if you want to allow them to take a tour back through there.
Well, they did it without my knowledge.
Oh.
Nobody was at the desk, they
went back
came in
there
and they
Oh,
went
so
back.
you guys went back there?
Yeah, we already went back there.
Okay.
But the thing is, man, this is not her office. This is our office. You pay taxes, she pays taxes, I pay
Right.
taxes.
You can agree that somebody's got to run it, obviously. You have to
Yeah,
have somebody
they are the
run it.
steward of the
Right.
office, but this is not their office. The rules for the public in a public office
Right.
are set by the state
Right.
legislature.
So have you guys seen that back in there? Did you see what you guys wanted to see back in there?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
done. They just told us,
Okay.
they called you guys, and we
Okay.
were waiting on you to come
Okay.
and
All right.
figure it out.
Then if we leave, you guys are ready.
Good deal.
Right?
I don't make deals like that, man, but I am done in this
You said
office.
you got everything you needed, so
Yeah.
there's no point to even be in here anymore.
We just don't want to interfere with
Yeah.
your daily
Right.
duties
Yeah,
on helping these
that's-
patients.
No, I
That's
hear
our
you.
only
Yeah, and the other
There are
thing,
some sick people in here that need
yep.
help.
And the thing is, man, is my whole purpose of this stuff is to go around and educate. So if we leave without taking something from each other, I think that there is a little bit of I failed to do my job.
Yeah, good deal.
So I'd like to, though, let it be known that while we're in a public building and we all have a contractual interest in it
Yeah.
through our taxes, we cannot say that, hey, I know it's your building and it's my building, but I don't want you to go back there, so you can't go back there. The only way that should be done is by a sign being posted, and that says authorized employees or authorized personnel only. That way it's clear to those that aren't those people
Makes
that they
sense.
can't go in there, because it's all of our building. We all have the
Makes
same
sense.
access until that.
We all need medical help.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yep.
all right.
I'll fix that
Yeah,
immediately.
no doubt, guys.
We're
So
out here.
awesome. All right. Hey, you have a good day. All right.
And just for your general knowledge, education coming this way, the
Yeah.
reason we have our masks on is because in our guidelines to provide immunizations right now under the State Department of Health,
Okay.
that is a requirement. Therefore, we do have the sign out there and we do have,
Yes.
people come in. So,
Yeah, that was actually our first video that we ever made, was a mask disagreement, and we looked into it in the Supreme Court, and you're right, that is your guys' policy to do that. So I respect that you guys are following your own rules and doing
Right,
that.
right.
The Supreme Court ruled that policies and rules for particular buildings apply only to employees or contractors while within that building. But while you're just a part of the public, the only rules you have to follow are the laws passed by the legislature in Indianapolis. So I agree. That's why we don't wear masks. I'm fine with it. I understand it. It's like, if you can play your role. If I did see an elderly or a sick person in here, I probably would have masked up myself, but we didn't.
okay,
so.
well, I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. The people that watch the videos, they just like to see us only following the rules that we have to follow, because otherwise they think in their heads, and I'm with them on this, that the employees that we pay with our tax dollars are trying to take control of us, and it should be, in their eyes and my eyes, the other way around, that while we're paying somebody, they should do what we want them to do as a whole, right? Not if I come in here and say, do this, you shouldn't have to. But if we make a rule collectively as a society, then I believe that, yeah, you guys should do it. So that's the whole point. We're not here to cause problems or anything. We're literally just here to educate. Sometimes we have to litigate, but that's only when those guys violate. Those guys have been great with us here. So,
Have they? Okay.
oh, they've been great. They came
Okay.
over, stood around. They said, "There's no problems here. We'll see you later." That's what they did this time. That's what we love to see. So, and we had a great conversation. I think we both learned something. So,
Well, we did, but
Yes.
do you have some time, or are you in a hurry?
oh, I have a little bit of time.
A little bit of time?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, since you kind of brought that up, is the purpose of public health.
Yeah.
And you made a couple of interesting comments to me that you would prefer to seek your health care privately and pay for it. And so I'm curious as to what your thoughts are then about just the public health offices in general. I just wanted, when I offered you
Yeah.
services, I was going through, you started through my list of things that we can offer you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because we can check for high blood lead levels, we can check for lice, we can do STD checking, we have vaccinations for our children as well as our adults.
I'm glad that you
know.
brought that up, because like
Yeah.
that's the thing that I actually am very passionate about, is that there's so many regulations. Like HIPAA has made being in the health profession as a private entrepreneur very difficult. You've got to comply with tons of rules, and then not only that, but say like if HIPAA says that this old piece of equipment is outdated, or I don't know what government agency it is, but they make you buy a whole lot of equipment that maybe you didn't need, that you could have put it off and you could have used the older equipment that did the same function. There's a lot of money wasted through government regulations in healthcare. Like and I pay for a Medicaid tax, and I don't use Medicaid. I've got private insurance. But the thing is for people nowadays to get private health care, it is very expensive due to those regulations. It's almost unaffordable for some people.
It is unaffordable
Yes.
for a lot of people.
So my idea is if we can take away those regulations, then there is no need for public health. See, in the 1930s and 40s, when you needed to go get health care in America, not only was it the highest quality, but it was the cheapest as well. I mean, this stuff was so cheap, and we had zero medical programs in the government. Now, since they've made all these medical programs in the government, it's so expensive, almost nobody can afford it. And if they do afford it, then they've got to pay it for like 12 months or something, because they can't afford to pay it in a one time, go. So I think that the system that we're living in.
So was it all privatized in the 30s and the 40s? I'm trying
It was
to
all
remember.
privatized. Yeah, everything was privatized in the 1930s and the 40s. That was actually the first year in the mid to late 30s is when they passed the Social Security program. So there was almost no care, even financially, for elderly people, and they were doing just fine. We had the most charitable giving programs in the world, and elderly people had no problem paying for health care because it was so cheap.
Got you.
But nowadays it's all, I mean, look, while the system is in place, I believe you guys serve a function in public health. While everything is so expensive that young people can't afford it, it's great they can come here and get an STD test, because a lot of us need it. So,
Absolutely.
so it's great that that's the case, but I think absent the government involvement in the first place, there wouldn't be a need for more government involvement. So that's my whole thing is, and I like to put that out, those ideas, because me as a private individual can't do anything. Like I got one vote. I always vote for the loser in an election. So, and it's not because I like a loser. It's because I vote and then they end up just losing because nobody else has the same ideals, and they don't really. A lot of people don't have time to look into economics or history and how economics ties in with that, and how the public sector and their spending is a little bit more frivolous than the private sector. But that's what I do, is I try to disseminate this information to the public. Maybe they can see this and they may change their minds. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it makes them believe you more. I mean, who knows? It's all up for them. But this is why I do this, because I care. I love my country, and I want the best care for everybody in my country. Not only the best care in health, but I want the best care in the justice system. I think that the justice system in this country is absolutely terrible. I mean, like when I want.
Do you have a business card?
I don't have a business card, but I can leave you with some information if you'd like. I actually got a pen right here. How about that? You got a piece of paper for me? Awesome. Tyler, what'd you wear? Appreciate you. It's locked on. Alrighty, thank you. This is it all goes on YouTube, this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And usually, I mean, I'll be honest, this is the first public health department that we've came in that was actually this, open. So we haven't done a lot of what we call audits in there, the First Amendment audits. And the whole goal of them is to show that the justice system we've got the most laws in the world.
So if they weren't open, what do you mean?
I mean, there's a lobby, and then all of the other areas are literally there would be a semi-wall with a door in it here, and it would you can't access it because it's locked, and the only time that you can get through is when they say, okay, ding, come through. So that's what we usually run into. But I mean, the whole deal is it doesn't hurt for you guys to know that it is all right to do it, but the people we really want to know is the police, the sheriffs, and all that in this country, because the whole goal of these audits is to show we've got the most rules in the world as far as a government. We have the most laws that have been passed through our government than any other country in the world. We've got the most prisoners in this country per capita than any other country in the world. And the whole deal is, while they make us follow all these ridiculous laws, they don't even follow the laws that they have set out for themselves, which is the First Amendment. The right to the freedom of the press shall not be abridged by any law. So there is no law abridging our freedom to come into a public area and record, but they don't know that. So a lot of the times they'll come in and throw you in handcuffs, or they'll push you out of the building. They'll do a whole bunch of stuff because they don't even know the rules they have to follow. So that's really the goal. And none of this conversation will go on YouTube. I don't want to get you hearing my spiel, but if you do, you can go onto our YouTube page and all that. But yeah, I mean, that's what we do. We love freedom, and we just go around and advocate for it. And usually we run into a lot more resistance than that from law enforcement. So those guys are actually really great, and honestly. So I think you live in one of the better counties. I don't know do we have a local police force in this town? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check them out too, because the county boys were fine. They came in and did a nice job.
Yeah.
But
but just, from a public's perspective, it isn't normal that someone would walk through my door.
No.
You're intimidating. That's just all there is to it. When you come through the door like that, it's 2022, and we see people come in and shake places up. I mean, it's a concern.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. That's a lot of stuff. I mean, people act like it happens all the time, but there is one thing: I've never seen a shooter come in with a camera. But that's not to say it couldn't happen. I mean, be on your guard. But the only thing is while you're in your public capacity, I always say it to, as I said, I've never actually interacted with a public health official, but we like to run into polite public workers, which is what you were. You were very polite. So I just say give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, and if you are worried about shooters, I'd say, I mean, if it's a genuine concern, I would request to the county to put in some bulletproof glass here, because it's a viable concern. There may be somebody with a gun coming in here, so maybe bulletproof glass would be the way to go. So yeah, we just advocate for everybody's rights. This is America, and everybody's our brothers and sisters, and we just, even if they don't appreciate it, like a lot of police officers don't appreciate that we're trying to extend people's rights and not retract them, we do it for them as well. Everyone benefits when we're more free. But it was great talking to you, all right? You have a good day. The new Hide Behind the Badge shirt is available now on Spring. Be sure to check it out and get yours. Link is in the description below. Also, consider joining our channel as a member to get access to content early, and in some cases, completely exclusive content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.